Okay, this video will be a little about what can we ascertain about UFOs that people see outside, let's say outside. So I have degrees in psychology, right? And as part of that, I learned that you don't really listen to what people say. I mean, you listen, you empathize, but really what matters is action. Like, how could I say this? I have a friend that recently told me that she would like to go to a temple to meditate. She needs to stop drinking. She's just a little bit off the rails, a little bit too crazy. She realizes it. She has a family and she needs to change. She's not good in her head. She doesn't feel good. She needs to do something to change. So she was asking me about temples that she could meditate at. And so I told her about one that's really exceptional. She could do like a self-guided meditation up there. Anyway, she said, first I have to stop drinking, first. Week and a half later, I'm sitting there getting my motorbike fixed. And I see a car being pulled by a truck. The car is smashed. The total front of it is smashed. And it doesn't really hit me until I see her following in a vehicle after that. And I was like, that was her car. She smashed her car. And then I was like, oh no. Called her and found out, she smashed her car. She was drunk. They tried to get her for leaving the scene of the accident. They threw her in jail for a night. It was on national news in Thailand. She said she wasn't leaving the scene. I mean, it was just, at least she's alive. At least she didn't kill anybody, right? So you have to look at what people are doing, like what they're actually doing. I have this idea that whatever created the world, whatever created you and I and everything in the world, I'm looking outside at the palm trees and everything, the banana plants. And I have this idea that we can learn something about whatever created all of this by looking at it and just saying, God didn't make fluorescent colored trees. Like every other tree isn't a different color, right? Which would be like psychedelic. It may be too much stimulation, right? Was that thought about as the world was made, as the world was devised, as it was programmed, you might say? I don't know, but maybe it wouldn't matter at all. But the trees are generally a certain height, right? They don't really go above 100 feet, 150 feet, 200 feet, or something like that, right? I don't know what the tallest trees are. But I'm sure they don't go really above 200 feet much, if at all. There's not like one tree growing that's like 7,000 feet high. There's not this huge disparity. Everything is within a range, like a reasonable range. And maybe that's because at this point, through evolution of everything that is alive, maybe it just settled into that range, right? But this is something that was planned. I think that this was all planned. Everything was planned, which is crazy to think, but I think it was all planned. Now, we don't have one animal on Earth that can destroy mankind in any numbers. I mean, we would be smart enough to destroy that animal, right? The entire species, if we wanted to. Anyway, so we can look at what God did. God can be aliens. God could be some supreme intelligence. It could be AI. It could be, I don't know what God is. But anyway, we look at what God did, and then we try to ascertain, like, what can we know about that God, We have like moments of extreme joy and peace and serenity, but then we have moments of terror and jealousy and rage and fear. So we have like all of these things. So that tells us something about what made this, right? To me, it does. I wrote a whole book on it. It's called, what is it called? Oh, what is it called? It's been a while. Recipe for Chaos. Okay. So I was writing it in chapters, like book 1, book 2, book 3. I got book 1 out. You can find it. I don't think I have a copy here somewhere. Anyway, it's all about looking at what we have here and then trying to ascertain something about God. But we can do that about the aliens too, can't we? Let's look at what are they doing. So they're flying in the sky, moving in the sky, as one, as many. Sometimes there's a whole fleet of them, as I think David Fravor said. They're different shapes, but they aren't crazy shapes. Like they aren't like Battlestar Galactica shapes, or they really aren't involved, are they? They aren't very detailed. They aren't very, they don't give us very much information at all, do they? They're simple shapes. They're ovals, they're discs or two plates like stuck together, like a disc, like that. They are balls, they're orbs, they're tubes, like the Tic Tac. They are sometimes triangles. But mostly that's the basic shape. It doesn't tell us much at all, does it? It should tell us right away, that's not ours. We don't have anything that does that, right? Not yet. Maybe we're on the verge of it. Or maybe somebody has it, but I don't think we have anything that has the capabilities that these things have. Anyway, so we have that. The weirdest thing that we have recently is the sphere with the cube inside it. So 3D, like sphere, and then a 3D cube inside that seems to be flying around the pilots in the Navy, at least. That's who's telling us. Every day for more than 2 years is what they're saying. A lot of close calls, or what they consider close calls. Maybe the phenomenon is so perfect in everything it does, it knows it can't possibly hit you. It's impossible that you have a collision with this. But of course the pilots don't know that, and they're afraid. Rightfully so. So we look at that, right? Those things are flying around. Mostly they're just flying around innocuously. Maybe they stop and hover. They usually don't hover very long, do they? 5-10 minutes at the most. Every now and then you'll hear of something. I read one where there were occupants standing on top of the saucer about, I think it was like 100 meters off the ground, 100 yards. And there were occupants on top, and there were people. This guy was like a missionary or something. I'll have to try to find the video again. And he's like, oh, I wonder what happened. Like, we wave at them. So they were waving, and then the things waved back. And so they did that. I don't know. He said it lasted 2 hours. How do you wave at somebody for 2 hours? I don't know. But after like 2 hours, they sped off. 2 hours is a long time, isn't it? Did they not get a video or something? A picture maybe? I don't know. He didn't mention. Anyway, so they do that sometimes. The aerial school incident in Zimbabwe in, I think it was 93. Craft came down at the schoolyard, obviously in full view of so many kids. Kids ran out to it. They saw a couple figures. One was like walking in front of the craft. I think one was on top of the craft. Black figures. They couldn't really discern any features except big eyes and a black suit with one of them. And but they were just there. That's the usual, is that if they ever do come down to the ground, if they ever do land and we actually see a landed craft and something get out, They don't like come over and say hi, like, give me some want some pancakes? That's one of the stories, is that these things came down and made pancakes for this guy after he gave them water. But that's not the usual story, is it? Another usual story is that you see like elves or something in the forest, like running around in a weird group, like small, like children almost. My grandfather actually said he saw that. I mean, he said green people too. I mean, how weird is that? So they're generally doing things like that, things within a range. Flying a little bit, stopping, hovering, going up and down, moving erratically sometimes, like weirdly. Maybe it looks unbalanced. It looks like not so steady. When they land, sometimes people get out. Usually, I don't think so. But this is the usual, right? But here's what they're not doing. They're not like, we don't see them over there and then see a beam of light come down and then see an explosion, right? We never see that. They're not trying to incite fear that way anyway, right? The things in that craft or whatever is responsible for making that craft do what it's doing, some intelligence obviously, is not trying to make us afraid. At least not extremely afraid of these things. So it's more like they're trying to become familiar to us, right? The more people that see them, the more people accept, yeah, they're here. What are we going to do? We're not going to do anything because we have no idea what they want or don't want, you know. So it's within a range, and I'm sure this is the way Jacques Vallée looks at it as well, is like you look at it and you try to decide, like, what is the actual effect of what they are doing? So the actual effect is really that they're just making us more accustomed to seeing them, right? We see them more often. I haven't seen so many craft as much as I have had very, very weird experiences. So a few craft, several, and well, 7 at one time, 5 or 7, can't remember. So maybe 10 craft or 11, 12 craft or something, and then some very weird experiences. But so over time, I'm seeing more, and over time, as I get older, I just say, you know, they're absolutely here, but we still don't know anything about them. We don't know a thing about them, really, do we? We don't really know, are they living here? Are they part of the earth as we are? Were they here all the time and just extremely good at hiding themselves because of their advanced tech? Could really be that, can absolutely be that, and I lean towards that. Can there be other things that are coming like from distant worlds or something? I guess so. The distance problem doesn't bother me that much. I think that just because we can see the tic-tac here on Earth in an air environment, and air and nitrogen and every gas that we have here, they're blowing through that at like 20 to 40, 100 some thousand miles per hour. There's no obstacle there at all, none. How would it be in a vacuumless space where there's nothing to overcome at all? Maybe they can go 25 times faster than than we see. I mean, we have no idea the maximum speed of these things. We see them zip back and forth, and we see them disappear over the horizon. Pilots see it. But we say, oh, it went like 40,000 miles per hour. That's how fast it had to be going. But it doesn't even matter. It could be nothing to them. That could be, because they do it so often, it just seems like that's the normal. Like we drive to the store, we go like a maximum of about 25 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour if it's right down the street, right? But that's just what we do. We go that fast. Ants may look at it and go, God, Dad, did you see that thing like fly by? It's going 25 miles an hour, and that's just the normal to us. Maybe the normal to them is 40,000 miles an hour. That's nothing to them, maybe. Maybe they're capable of speed of light. Who knows? Who really knows anything? But anyway, so I want to just say that they don't seem to be doing crazy stuff. They're not inciting fear. They're not destroying stuff. They're not showing their power, their might, their numbers. They don't show like they don't blanket the sky in 60,000 craft to show us their numbers, to show us, hey, you guys really aren't in control at all. No, they give us like one every now and then, a group of 9, a group of 10, and they show us that. So we still think we're in control, right? We still think we have a chance of being the top dog still, right? They don't threaten that. So you can see that they obviously don't threaten that. Now, different phenomena do, like the things at Skinwalker Ranch. They seem to threaten us directly, threaten our sanity even. They threaten our pride, they turn a prideful person, like some of these special forces guys that interacted with these things over there were fearful, is what the story is. They became fearful. They were not fearful of anything. Now they're fearful. So these other things, orbs sometimes, different color orbs seem to mean different things. Like the blue ones at Skinwalker Ranch apparently are the ones that kind of, somebody said, feed off the fear of the person. They try to ramp up the fear and they get excited with the fear. That's crazy, right? But that's totally different than the UFOs that we see in the sky. Maybe the same phenomenon, maybe made by the same intelligence, but doing different things, drastically different things, right? Demon possession, crazy stuff, right? Directly like destroying people and families and communities and like destroying people. That's not what these things are doing in the sky, or they don't seem to be. Are they different? We can only guess. Seems different. We don't look at a craft in the sky and orbs drop out of it and they come and chase people and incite fear. So they don't do that. They don't throw a free beer out of the windows, like there's so many things they're not doing. They're not like having races up and down the sky. Like you don't see them racing, like pulling ahead of each other and stuff, like giving us a show. They're not projecting like images on the sky as if like Christ is coming back or something like that. We don't see that. Are they responsible for stuff like that? Like the Fatima, illusion or whatever, appearance? Who knows? The number of different things that different phenomena are doing are different. And it's very hard to say this one is responsible for the same thing as this. The things that come into your mind in dreams. Like I had this horrible, horrible dream. I'll have to post a link to it. I'll have to find it and repost the video. But so we have dreams that are like, seems like something is manipulating us in the dream, right? I mean, crazy stuff like that. We have demon possession. We have orbs coming into the room, like at my hotel room. We have people with like mile-long on a side triangles above their house. They can't see the stars for like, they say it's like a mile, like it's a massive, massive thing. Which sort of scares the hell out of you, right? Anyway, I'm big on looking at something and trying to figure out, like, what about the intelligence can we tell just from what we see? So it looks intelligent, super intelligent. It looks fairly docile, at least these things in the sky. If you believe the abduction phenomenon, then you believe they're not docile at all. They're not benign at all. They're literally ripping people off the earth and experimenting on them and dropping them back off. If you believe in the cattle mutilation thing, which I do, I don't think there's another explanation for it that makes sense on this scale. So you believe that they're probably, hopefully, killing the cow first or whatever animal it is, and then mutilating it, taking eyeballs and jaw, skin and everything, and then sometimes they drop the cow from the sky and all the bones are broken. So hopefully it's already dead, right? Like, how nice is that? What the hell are we dealing with there? Or is that only some of them in the sky that do that? Or is it generally all of them? We just don't see it happen all the time. Who knows? Anyway, I just would like that you think about UFOs in this way, in the same way. Like, don't attribute, like, you don't know what is connected. You can't say ghosts are connected to that. I can't say that this thing I came into my room in the hotel room was interdimensional. At first, it started out almost like one dimension, like a spot of white. And then it turned into like 3D lines. Well, 2D lines, because it was outside the window and I couldn't see. I just saw lines in the window. And then it came into like a 3D tube of white light. So, was it interdimensional? I don't know. Seems it. At least it has power over that, over dimensions. Seems like it can manipulate dimensions, or at least, or maybe my perception of it. But we don't really know. Is that connected to the saucers in the sky? To me, seems like it, but I can't say for sure, right? Is that connected to things at Skinwalker Ranch? I don't know. There's quite a bit of difference between Thailand and Skinwalker Ranch. There's quite a bit of difference between what I saw and what they see. Is it related to poltergeist activity? You know, there's just no way to know. We don't know very much at all. We hardly know anything at all. Luis Elizondo was saying the other day that Joe Murgia, he transcribed the video from, I think it was Coast to Coast. He transcribed it in Twitter so we can all see it, so we don't have to join Coast to Coast. And he was saying that people that claim to know, he said, don't follow them, don't listen to them. They don't know. So that's pretty weird, because you would think that he knows. You would think that if anybody knows, he has one of the best ideas of what this is of anybody. But he's saying don't listen to anybody because we don't know. He keeps saying, well, we need more data. Oh, we need more people to get involved. Psychologists, sociologists, psychotherapists, like he's saying, astronomers. We need all these different people to get involved to know more. I mean, you would think that we already have that. You would think that his group have contacted these people to get more like that, you know, that they have run it by some people to try to figure it out, right? And he's saying we need more people like this. He's saying the answers are not there yet. He's also saying that the answers may be beyond us. The questions that we're asking that are interesting to us may have nothing to do with the phenomenon at all. The question, I like this one. He did say, he says some people are asking the question, like, why are they here? That might be a ridiculous question. They may have already just been here like we are. We don't know why we're here. Why are they here? They're just here because they were here. Who knows? It's beyond them. They don't know why they're here. We don't know why they're here. We don't know why we're here. So, it may be such a shift necessary in the mind to that we may not understand anything about them ever. This might be all we get for the next 6,000 years. It may not change. Like, this may just be it. I would like to think we can know more. I'm struggling to know more. I'm writing articles about what more could we know. I'm thinking a lot about what the hell could they be? What do they want really is what I want to know the most, is what do they want? Why are they here? And if the why is that they were just here anyway, they don't really have any interest in us, great. That's perfect. That's what I prefer. But I think there's a different why. And maybe there's multiple whys because there's multiple things here that are doing this. So anyway, just some stuff to think about. I'm surely thinking about this crap all the time. If you have any good ideas or any ideas at all, Who knows if they're good, right? You better tell somebody and share it, and maybe it is good. You never know what's going to happen. But share it with somebody, leave it in the comments. Try to find somebody you can talk to about this stuff. I have my sister, she's well versed in the topic and an experiencer as well. And then I also get to interact with you guys in the comments, which is awesome. So please don't stop the comments. What you're saying oftentimes like triggers something in my head and gets me thinking along a different track, and I like that. All right, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.